You already know that Pyro source spread, it's a Houdini 18 specific node. And for those of you that are using Houdini 17.5 or earlier, this won't work. I thought to recreate this effect from scratch so you can still do this tutorial. Now we have a bunch of nodes that create this effect, and we need to use the start group that we already have. So we create our own spreading. Let's set up a point triangle. I will also create an underline, name it to Houdini 17.5 or earlier. And this point triangle, I will name it to set starting points. And of course, a point triangle can also run over a group, and we see here the group start. So now everything that I write here will run over only these points. And I will say I for integer grow equals to 1. If we have a look in the parameters, we have 2 point attributes now. One it's grow and the other one it's p. If we have a look in the geometry spreadsheet, you can see that a couple of points have the attribute grow set to 1 and the other ones have it to 0. So that means that only those points that are selected have a growth attribute of 1. Now we need to set up a color for our points and also a subsolver. So let's set up the color first. This should be rem from attribute, and here we should say grow. So the subsolver will output a grow attribute, and it will be colored to white. If we test this out, we can see that the points that we selected in the group are white now. This means that this is working properly. We'll add a solver, plug it in, go inside, and we just need to use an attribute transfer. We just need the previous frame, and we reset the timeline. So here we just need to transfer the grow. So the points that are starting from the groups that we created. And here we need to set up a simple expression. So we would say where the source group is grow equal to 1. So this is the source group, and we need to transfer the source group where the attribute grow is equals to 0. And of course we need to run this over points. So now if we go back, something should happen. Maybe we need to reset the simulation. Yes, doing nothing. Let's see what's happening here. I think we don't need, yeah, so that was the mistake. The whole sphere, it's white because there's also the distance threshold here that you'll see we'll use very often in this course. So let's play this out, and you can see it's a very similar effect. Of course, it's very fast right now. As you can see, we replaced these nodes. So let's dive inside again and maybe tweak this a little more, maybe 0.025. And of course, just reset the simulation to make sure everything works. Now, if I hit play, you can see that the spreading it's much slower, but we can already start to see that some points don't get that attribute. So we can just go inside and set this to maybe 0.027. Maybe this way we can have all the points. So let's see. Okay, so now all the points are infected or have the growth parameter. Of course, if we have a look at the Pyro source spread that we did in Houdini 18, we can see that it finishes at around frame 144. Of course, we cannot tweak the speed as easily as with the Pyro source spread, but I think we can just drop down a time warp. And here in the input frame range, we can just say $f end. So this is the end of the frame range, so it's 240. And maybe here we just put a very high number like 500. Let's try with this. And right now you can see that the spreading effect it's much slower, and it's almost very similar to what we had. It finishes around frame 155, so maybe we need to add 450 here. Let's play again. Yeah, so I think right now it's pretty close to what we had. And of course, if we don't have Houdini 18, we can just pass these nodes and use the other nodes. So I just plug this color inside the array, and let's see here, everything should work pretty nicely right now. Let's hit play. As you can see, the spreading effect is extremely similar to what we had in Houdini 18. This can be a workaround if you don't have the latest version. Of course, the nodes will be available in the source file that you will receive with this tutorial.